Okay, quick walkthrough. Homeowner is sensitive due to her previous home. She had a home inspection performed as well as a mold inspection from a an inspection company that is quote unquote specialized in mold inspections and home inspections, okay? So I'm going to show how quickly I discovered the contamination. I walked through that front door, I grabbed my borescope. We have a sidewall register here. Notice the amount of staining on this wall. Right below that register. Okay, we have a vertical unit in the closet here. Okay, notice how much contamination. That's all dust from the return not being air sealed. Now, the return was somewhat air sealed by the remediation company. However, I want to stress that this house was given the stamp of approval by this mold inspector. And let me show you something. So that is inside of that unit. So we are currently looking on the inside of that supply air plenum. That is not dust, guys. That is unidentified microbial growth. Okay? That is clearly biological. This client paid a mold inspector that specializes in home inspections, specifically mold, and gave his stamp of approval here. I walked into the house. She originally called me to talk about cleaning the systems, doing maintenance on them. Once I heard her story, I said, let me come and look. And how long did that take me? I walked through that door, $300 borescope, less than 30 seconds. I have severe contamination. Okay, so coming upstairs, thermostat. This is our goofy little attic ladder. So the minute I walked upstairs, I just did a quick walk around. First register, we have visible microbial growth on the grill, and the box itself is contaminated. Also, this is a interstitial space. The roof has a pitch to it, very, very steep pitch. So this is a hidden interstitial space. This interstitial space is connected to outside via the vented perforated soffit below. So guess what that makes this? These are all knee walls all the way around the second floor. I have no access to any of them. However, given the house, as you can see the roof there, that's a second pitch, and then there's another pitch here. Given the construction of this particular house and every other house that I inspect and assess, you can make a pretty accurate assumption that these walls are not assembled properly. Okay, so we see the second pitch there, and then this is the steeper pitch. So once again, this is hidden interstitial spaces. Take it a step further, this grill is blowing directly onto this wall. Notice the patch right there. There's this distinct patch. in the drywall. Hopefully you can pick up on that. Okay, nobody caught this. Why was this patched? Once again, we have a knee wall, which needs to be assembled as an exterior wall, and then the moisture issues that you typically see on improperly assembled knee walls gets exacerbated from cold air blowing directly on it. So the surface here is going to be pretty damn close to the supply air temperature, 55 degrees. This one's actually 52 degrees. Okay, so let's jump upstairs, up in the attic. So this house was built in the early 70s. And right off the bat, notice the roof assembly is brand new. And then we had a flat roof here from construction. Right off the bat, someone attempted to do radiant barrier. There's a roll of it right there. Praise God they did not finish that. See if I can get some light for us. So this particular client is sensitized to microbial growth. She sold her previous home and found this one. Had a mold inspection, had a home inspection, had some remediation work done. House, the inspector, the home inspector, and the mold inspector, same person, gave their stamp of approval. So this is my upstairs system. And as you can see, we have contamination quite a bit. Let me try to get this camera in there a little bit better. Hopefully you can see that. There's a dead roach with some microbial growth on it. That is the outlet side of the evaporator coil. And as we can see, she is contaminated quite a bit. However, this past mold inspection, mold inspector gave her the stamp of approval to go ahead and purchase the home, knowing she was sensitized and looking for a clean, healthy home. Okay, we're up in the attic still. Let's do a quick smoke pen test. Okay, my filter is down here in the ceiling, and as you can see, I'm pulling quite a bit of air from this attic space that is unconditioned. Okay, so home inspector sees tape. Oh, it's sealed up, not a big deal. Looks good. And as you can see, she is pulling a tremendous amount of air from this vented attic. Okay, once again, where's my filter? My filter's in the ceiling below. All of this air is not getting filtered. And someone cut that open and did not seal it back up. That's pulling air directly from the attic. So once again, home inspector approved it, gave his stamp of approval. Go ahead and purchase the home. Guys, this is major deficiencies here. These issues are not cheap to repair, at least properly. She's looking at Contaminated ductboard. Ductboard is a kindergarten type material. We quit using that a long time ago. Anytime you see fiberglass ductboard, right off the bat, it's inferior. And as you can see, this thing's not even secured. Flex duct return, which is fine. I have no issue with that. Ductboard transition, whatever you want to call that. Furnace, leaking air from the attic space. All this is duct leakage. Coil, look at the emergency drain line. Last time I checked, water doesn't flow uphill very well. There is an overflow switch in it that is very poorly wired. All of our gas line is not secured. Main drain line is not properly strapped. Run very poorly. All my ductwork is laying on the deck. Nothing strapped. My flue pipe is touching the sheathing. That needs 1 inch of clearance at least. I have water dripping. We have water actively dripping, as we can see here. So I guess we ran out of PVC caps that day. Decided to just take. Guys, this is the stuff that I deal with every day that I try to get you to understand. There is no such thing as apples to apples in this industry. This unit blows hot and cold air, just like mine does. This unit is promoting sickness and disease right now. It is affecting the house. It is affecting the people in the house. This is unacceptable. But the home inspector, look at the amount of duct leakage here blowing out. The home inspector gave his stamp of approval. So let's see how much leakage we have on that supply over there. So everything from this point back is negative. Everything from that point forward is positive pressure. So this side is blowing out. Look at the amount of air being pushed into the attic space. Okay? Well, so what? We're blowing some conditioned air into the attic. Well, guess what? That creates a negative pressure on the house. Now we're infiltrating air into the home. We have a tremendous amount of microbial growth. Severe duct leakage to the attic. Once again, guys, like, you don't have to know this stuff the way I know it. Just look at it. If it looks like trash, what does that tell us? It tells us everything else is trash. There's nothing here that I can reuse, guys. When I look at a system like this, it tells me it was not engineered, it was not designed for the house. It was installed very poorly, obviously. This thing was never commissioned. I have no static pressure ports. There's no airflow, there's no balance. We have hot and cold spots. And obviously this thing was never maintained. Or if it was, they came out and did a $29 maintenance and didn't actually do anything. I'm surprised I don't have a Remy Halo or a UV light on this thing. This is pitiful, guys. We need to up our game a little bit. We can do better than this.